Hey y'all, welcome back to another exciting episode of Will It Tie? Today we're trying to tackle a turtle. As always, I start out with a stencil because I cannot draw. I use that piece of wood to hold the stencil down so it wouldn't shift as I get that outline sketched out. I added a little bit more point to the tail, and then I make sure I get that eye at the top. I decided to do a peace sign in the middle. I'll do a more in-depth tutorial in the future if y'all would like. But I make my folds and then I cinch up the outer circle and I tie that off. Then I pleat up this part for the legs on the inside and we tie that off. Now going into this, I was not expecting to have that much trouble with the eye, although I really did want there to be an eye. So you'll see me here troubleshoot in my head how to do this because it was stumping me. I just kept folding it all different kinds of ways, trying to see if I could get all those lines to just line up somehow. No pun intended. So I've gotten clamps out to kind of hold it. See if I could just fold those lines some way, somehow. At this point, I basically said screw it, and I'm just gonna get to folding, but I was not gonna let that happen. So I decided I was just gonna draw it on there, kind of like I do with the bear or the Steely. And just kind of get it as close to that line as I could. In the future I might have given myself a little more space, but we'll see how it comes out. So once I finally get that eye tied off, we start with the head and we move our way around. So I keep it, like I said, as close to the eye as I can. I'm just following the line that I had originally made though. So I get to that angle where the head meets the flipper and we fold that on top of each other. So I clamp that top part and I decide to move down to the bottom. And we start on that tail again. Just continuing that line. It's just one very long line where again I fold all the angles on top of each other and just try to keep that line as straight as possible. I clamp it off just to give my fingers a bit of a rest and get that line pulled out a little bit more. And then same thing, just keeping it straight as we try to meet back up at that top clamp. So once we meet up at that top clamp, I just try to get those lines as close as I can and see how straight it is. I'm pretty happy with that. So once we get it wrapped up a couple times, I can relax a little bit. just kind of clicked everything in the inside of the body so it's not clumped together, and we tie that one off a little bit, and we do the same thing with all the excess on the back side. Then it goes into the bin. We add our ice, and then I lay down the dye on top of that. Our dye comes from Custom Colors in Mooresville, North Carolina. Once we finish that, we let that ice melt, and 24 hours later, we get to open it up. And there you have it. Our turtle with a peace sign in it. Or maybe it's a tortoise, I'm really not sure. I'm sure someone will correct me if I am wrong. Thank you guys again for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Much love and tie-dye.